G&B Nihisu.
Ooh.
Okay, there we go. And sound sync.
We are
Action.
live.
All right. Welcome to the podcast, episode 9. Right?
Mm-hmm.
We should be like 15 at this point.
I think we should be about 14.
14, 15.
We done did some powerful ones. They didn't air. We done did some. We did some generational changing ones, and they ain't even get to hear those ones. So
I'm sorry.
we getting there.
I'm so sorry. I've been having technical difficulties. I don't know how to do this shit. All right. And the other reason why we're not.
We're getting there. We're bringing it together slowly but surely.
Yeah. The other reason we're not putting all kinds of cuts in and everything like that is because
it
takes way too much time, and my computer is way too slow now for that shit. I think it's just old. That and they have like a whole bunch of stuff on it that I need to take off.
Yes.
Let me size this up real quick. I just need to make sure that it's
yeah, you can actually see the
picking it up.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're good. Okay.
The other one you can see nothing.
All right. So, this week, man, what have you seen? What's up? What's good?
Man, I just been flaring on social media, talking shit, calling people demonic worshippers and shit. You know, I just be flaring and talking shit and pointing fingers and
it's like, God damn.
What it is it's like I see things and then I'm just like what the fuck is wrong with people? And then it's just like I start going for it, and it don't even really got to be on social media. Because I really don't be on it like that. It really is like life. I hear people talking. I'm just like, what the fuck? And then I can't necessarily say something all the time because, you know, it's you got to have a good rating with people. You know, you can't have a low people rating because people don't like when, you know, I don't want to be put in the he's a we can't speak to him box. You know what I'm saying? We can't fuck with this person, even though it's already bad. I'm already low rated anyway. But I was just been flaring on social media, man. We gotta wake our people up, bro.
Yeah, that's right.
We gotta wake, and it's not just my people. It's
my people too, bro.
It's just low. I'm just gonna say low income area individuals, right? It's just
that's what they call us, bro. Anyone who loves American culture or is like patriotic to this country is like, hey, like America's the greatest country, bro. Like they call it. I don't even know what that means, bro. It's like it's like something to the point of cactus. I don't understand how that means white. Like, but yeah, they call you a or you got like nopal on your forehead, something like that. I don't know.
Right.
They got some
weird. What the fuck they saying? That's what it is. Let's just say what it is.
Some weird metaphors,
you know what
bro.
the fuck is going on? And I've been called names, and it's like bear watermelon.
What?
And they be laughing like, oh, this shit's not funny. But nah, man. Just I'm gonna be PG instead of everybody in the low income area. You know, we gotta bring it together. You know what I'm saying? You can be in a low income area, but don't have a low income mindset. Don't have a low mindset, and that's just been pissing me off, bro. It's been pissing me off. Well, how it's like our people gravitate towards bullshit, bro. It's just like bullshit. They love the bullshit. The real shit, it flies over everybody's head, right? So, you know what I'm saying? I'm a weirdo or a loser or whatever because I'm sitting there trying to tell people like, yo, Bill Gates been buying up a lot of farmland. You know, there's something to that. You know what I'm saying?
Just a little sus, bro.
He gets paid a lot of money. You know what I'm saying? Or George Soros is at the Pentagon. Just things that shouldn't make sense. Or I might say something as small as
put in Bernie Sanders in charge of financial policy.
Right.
That's some off the wall shit.
I might say something small, or is. Well, if Africa's so great, then why the hell y'all keep on coming over here? And then motherfuckers be like, you're disrespecting the motherland. And I'm like, okay, get the fuck out of here. Why are you here? You know what I'm saying? If America's so horrible and you love your motherland so goddamn much, then what did you come? You literally left. I'm not from Africa. You left Africa. Like, you literally, while planes and everything was here, you left in 1990. You left America. You came over here. And now you talking about how bad America is. Go the fuck. Why won't you go back over there?
Are you talking about African immigrants?
I'm talking about African immigrants,
bro.
You know, like, let's be honest, bro. The reason why you came to America is because you love America and you will afford the opportunities that you did not have in your country. Let's be honest.
Oh, there's another caravan immigrant caravan forming in Honduras, I think it is, and they're getting ready to make the trip up here. Another one.
You think they're gonna walk all the way back?
I don't know, but they DJ Khaled in this shit, bro. Another one. I don't know. Anyway, so real quick, I watched the film Uncle Tom this week, and it was a pretty good film. I learned quite a bit of things. I didn't know who Booker T. Washington was. I didn't know that. Who else? Everett Dirksen, right? The Republican who supported the what is it? The Right to Vote Act, the Civil Rights Act. Mm-hmm. Like, I had no idea who these people were, and they also explained how people say, like, the Democrat and Republican parties, there was a big switch, right? Mm-hmm. The big switch. There was no big switch. There was a switch of perception.
Yeah, but how you perceive them.
There was a switch of perception, but they've always been the same.
What is it when a company it was rebranding. It was rebranding.
There you go.
There you go.
It was a rebranding.
They rebranded, but it's the same company. Mm-hmm. Just a rebrand.
It's the same company, but it's under a little bit of a nicer what's it called? They learned that force won't. What is it? You attract. I forget the fucking saying. If you want to catch a mouse, you put cheese out and not something. I forget the saying.
Well,
basically, they switched from physical force to little, hey, I'll give you things.
Because just like historically, right? The thing is, if you know the history, you know that every time that we have been tried, we win. And we just do what the fuck we want to do, regardless. So every time that they wanted to come and like kind of thumbprint how they wanted us to do, or how they wanted us to, act and what they wanted us to do, we always just won and kept it pushing and did what the fuck we wanted to do at the end. You know what I'm saying?
That was the other thing that was real surprising, is that the black community their economy was booming before Jim Crow and all that stuff was going on. Like, booming, like right out of slavery, they started to build themselves up, and then they were like this. They bridged the gap in a lot of wealth. Like, I was like, damn, I didn't know all that stuff, and it was a lot of like, work hard,
working.
You work hard and you'll get there. Like Booker T. Washington, dude, that dude was born a slave, came out immediately, went to go get himself educated, built himself his own institute where black people could learn book wise, be book smart, but also could get skills like engineering and working in innovation and all that stuff.
So let me ask you a question. Doesn't it make you question what the real American way is, and who is the American way, and where do they get that from? Because let's not talk about, and I'm not trying to be this guy, right? But I'm just historically, let's stick to what's historically. All of the European immigrants, that's the best way to say it. All of the European immigrants that were just handed land and handed areas to do what they had to do, right? Okay, so it's different when I hand you something. You are projected to do or make better. You do exactly what I gave you, or increase it and make it better, right? If I hand it to you, right? Mm-hmm. But for somebody like your grandparents and your mom and stuff that came over here, they really started from the bottom and they made a way, right? Mm-hmm. For all of my people that really started from the bottom and had to keep on coming up and just we made ways, right? We kept on making these. We had Tulsa, Oklahoma. We had Detroit. We just kept on, places of the South, but we just kept on reinventing. Ourselves, even when we felt like it, even when we were low, we brought it up, right? Mm-hmm. So it makes you really think about, like, why do some of these people not care about America? Go back to what Trump's saying, like how, they pimping out the Americans. Mm-hmm. Why do these people not care about America so much that it's been generations of their family living here and they just don't give a fuck? Well, I mean, if you think about it logically, can you blame them? Mm-hmm. I mean, if your family's really from the UK, or if your family's really German, or if your family's really Dutch, I mean, at the end of the day, it makes it easier. I mean, even though it's been generations, right? This has been years, thousands of years, but you could kind of not give a fuck if you don't. Really, what I'm really trying to say is, if America was never yours, right? And you know this, right? I'm talking about people that know, right? Like Joe Biden knows this. People that have money know what the hell really going on, right? Not the fucking bottom feeders that just talk, right? The real motherfuckers that know what's really going on. So, if you know, this is not my fucking country anyway. If you look at America as a resource and not as a country, then
yeah, okay.
Basically, what I'm trying to say is, this is not my fucking country. And it's getting dry. We built up everything. Then we're starting to juice it till there's no juice left. I don't give a fuck. We can get the fuck out of here. You know what I'm saying? Like Bill Gates been had his company in 2007. Bill Gates been living in China. And switched over his company to China in 2007. Been living in China since 2007. A lot of these people been not living in America. They've already gave up America. And even when you go back to thinking about, like the storm in the Capitol, right? These people have never forsake their own capital, right? I could care less for the Capitol. A lot of my people could care less for the Capitol. A lot of your people can care less for the Capitol, right? But what they've never done, right? With these people in higher positions never done is they never forsake their own capital. So when you see the storming the Capitol, that bullshit, when you see it, you be like, bro, they don't give a fuck about the Capitol no more. The whole American spirit, that shit's out the. I'd rather have the old school, you know what I'm saying? This is my country, Americans, because those motherfuckers, you ain't just gonna come over here and just do whatever you want to do, because they stand for something and they want this. They're growing this, and this is where they family live, and this is where the generations of their people gonna be at. These new age Americans, these new age people that call themselves Americans, they don't give a fuck no more, man. They don't care no more. Everybody everybody around the world come to America and do something. Everybody come to the world, and even if it's something just as partying or living for a couple years or starting businesses or whatever, they come over here because they know you can make it happen here. You know what I'm saying? And these people they're finally showing us what they've always thought was this was just one of the biggest resources that we had. It was just a big resource. We had the people, and they used to go to California and find gold on the floor. Compared to in Europe, they didn't already dig and used everything up over in Europe. You know what I'm saying? You come to America, you just see gold on the floor. You get all of these Europeans coming, they getting free land, and then some of them, after a while, they stop giving them free stuff. After a while, you just have to get here, like the Italians how they was in the gutter in New York and stuff like that, right? The Irish, how they was in the gutter, right? After a while, after
it was more like the first come first serve, like
basically,
like you came here,
come get this. This is for now. But then after a while, you start to see like 14 colonies, they were coming and getting everything. But anybody that came after that, you was in the gutter, and it is what it is. You either go rushing and run into the west to find what you've heard is over there. But now it's like, okay, so now the gold is less abundant. Texas, we done dug up a lot of oil. Everybody done dug up a lot of, in North and South Dakota, they dug up a lot of the oil. They done got a lot of the resources. Now you starting to see the blatant, this is a fucking resource. Oh, y'all call that America, but this is a resource. But this is where I'm from. This is where my people's from. This is where we've always been.
And you know what? That makes a lot of sense. Like when you're talking, and especially like with my people, right? The immigrant caravans that are coming. I mean, if they won't even, what I mean is like, if they won't even stay to fight for their own country, right? What makes me think that they're gonna fight for mine when our shit starts to go down the hill,
And this is why I want to. I'm my bad. I'm sorry, cause I'm on it right now. And this is why I also want to separate. I'm not just saying I don't want to talk. I don't want to go at no white people, because there are white people here that are like, nah, fuck that. I ain't been to Ireland in centuries. I've never even seen Ireland. This is my country. This is where I'm from, and this is the end all be all. This is me. This is America. Is me. I am American, right? You do have that, right? And then you just got a lot of people that just is like, it is what it is. F America, burn it all down. Who cares? We hate American. We hate America, but it's like.
Well, but this also too. This is the last refuge, bro. Like this is like no other country in the world has absolute free speech than this one
for now.
That's what's the scary fucking part, bro. Like
for fucking now.
Like And you know, people say, you know, yeah, Twitter, Facebook, they're private companies, they can do what they want, but they're working in consortium and they're working for a specific part of the government. Like, and then that's where you're starting to get into like, no, it's not so black and white. They're a private company. They're working for the government. They have government contracts. And I think if you have government contracts, you shouldn't be allowed to operate like a private company,
because at that point, what are you doing?
You're contracting with the public sphere.
You're a contracted worker for a entity, meaning you're pushing agendas, just new ways of another way of what we just said, rebranding. So let's stop looking at Twitter and Facebook and all of these, you know, not even, I wouldn't say TikTok, but Twitter, Facebook, you know, Instagram. Let's stop looking at them as social media companies. Let's start looking at them as contracted workers. This is another way to get the vote. These are other ways to get votes. YouTube too. We love y'all, YouTube. But, you know, the platform is funky.
It's only a while before you take us down.
Yeah, and they're demonetized. We ain't got big enough yet, but we but they gonna come for us, bro. As soon as we get the first 4,000, as soon as we get the first 4,000 followers, they like, get them niggas out. But yeah, bro, everything has always been a rebranding. Let's just, and it didn't always start like that, but once a certain government, you know, a certain government group got into the tech, it got funky.
Well, so here's where the rebranding was, right? So they did, when they passed the Civil Rights Act, right?
Right.
I think it was like upwards of 90% of Republicans voted to pass the Voting Act,
right,
for Black Americans. 90% of Democrats voted against, but we had the majority, so it passed. Same thing with the women's suffrage. 90% of Republicans, 90% of Democrats didn't. Where the rebranding was at was it was a Democrat president who was in office and who signed it into law, but only after the Republicans voted on it and made it and passed it, right? So they used it as, well, it was a Democrat president who signed it, ignoring the fact that all the Democrats in the Senate were trying to quash it, and if they had the majority, it wouldn't have passed. And that's where the rebranding started, right at JFK. And even JFK, his values, the way he holds his values, he'd be a conservative today. Like those are that classical liberal stuff. They call the classical liberals right wing. Like they're excising. That started in 2014, 15, but they were excising their own. Oh, you're too conservative. Like they're just a 70s liberal, like, huh?
Right.
But those values are too conservative for today, and that's kind of where it shows you, like, Republicans and conservatives have moved a little more to the center,
right?
So a little more left, but we're still right. The center's right here, left, right. So they've been right for a long time, but they moved a little bit closer to the center because, well, now it's like, well, you know what? Like gay people, like it's all right to be gay in your own home. Like fuck it, like all right, do what you do in your own home.
Right.
You have a point. The government shouldn't be involved in your home. So all right, and the left, the Democrats have went from left to far left in promoting socialist and communist type policies, right? And celebrating socialist and communist actions. And the Facebook whole thing, Facebook and Twitter thing, they are private companies, but we're losing our culture of free speech. And our culture of free speech, and I've heard this over and over again this past week, and I think it's true, like the culture of free speech is important first before the law of free speech, because if we don't have a culture of free speech, that's going to change the law.
And so basically what you just basically said, this is for people who didn't catch what you just said, so I'm going to just say it in a better way. I'm just saying, I'm going to dumb it down a little bit with you. So what you basically just said was, it's how cool free speech is. How cool does the majority think free speech is? Do you think it's cool to voice your opinion, or do you not think it's cool to voice your opinion? And then we're going to sway how it is. So if you just be like, I feel like we shouldn't have, you know what I'm saying, gay social studies in schools. Okay, I'm not saying I hate gay people. I'm not saying I won't do anything to gay people. I'm just saying I don't want that for my kids.
That shouldn't be taught to our children.
That's just a viewpoint. Now, you could on the other hand say, well, they're not saying that they want to make the kids gay, but they're just kind of giving the added alert, kind of just, making it more acceptable for the kids. You know what I'm saying? So those are just two viewpoints of that, right? Mm-hmm. But when that is not, when it's no longer cool to have a viewpoint, for one to just be everything and one to not have a viewpoint, that is now what you just did. Was you just made free speech not cool? Mm-hmm. So now, what they say? You do this. I don't even want to talk to you, or you, or you. All of you Reds, all you black conservatives, you guys are Republicans. All you black Republicans are Uncle Toms. Or I don't even want to talk to you guys because you guys are just brainwashed. So now we can't even have a conversation.
That's the other thing that gets me, bro. Oh, you're brainwashed. Really? I'm brainwashed. Well, I mean, bro, all these conservative media, bro. It's all the conservative media, right? Mm-hmm. Like CNN, MSNBC, all of it's fucking Republican. Turn people right wing. All right. Okay. Well, maybe it's not the media. Maybe it's the colleges. Maybe it's academia. Right? These kids are going in and they're coming out conservative as hell.
Don't say that.
Coming out alt-right.
Don't say that.
Oh no? Okay. Well, maybe it's Hollywood. Hollywood making all these conservative movies, bro. All these right-wing movies promoting the right and conservative values. Yeah. Where's the brainwashing, my guy?
Doesn't the FBI have an office in Hollywood?
I don't even know.
It's just,
if they do, that's a little nerve-wracking for me because God,
fuck, right next to the movie, right next to the studios, huh?
But yeah, I mean, but where's the brainwashing? Like all of the enforced culture is on your side. So where's the brainwashing from my end?
I think it's time to call it what it is. I think we need to go ahead and let go of Democrat and Republican and let's just start like having a realization of what's really going on. You have American people that's proud to be Americans, that stand for what American is, and then you have people who does not give a fuck about any American viewpoint or any American anything. They're just out for themselves. So we shouldn't. I think that even just the Republican and Democrat, that's even swaying it, because sometimes just the word Democrat or just the word Republican or just the word liberal or conservative is gonna make you feel some way, but it's not being put into you. It's not being put into plain terms, because a lot of us are dumb now. You know what I'm saying? I'm just call it what it is. We're dumb now. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? A lot of us are dumb, and a lot of these children are dumb, and they're gonna grow up be dumb, and they're gonna have dumb babies, and this is a cycle of retardation, right? Yeah. So let's start.
Well, I'm dumb, bro. I just barely started educating myself like 5 years ago.
I'm dumb too, but that's what I'm saying. Let's just start putting these into plain terms. You got motherfuckers who care less about America, and you got motherfuckers that love America. That's
the book I recommended to you, though. The book I recommended to you, Ben Shapiro's "How to Destroy America in 3 Easy Steps." Mm-hmm. That's there. There's two visions of America. There's the unionist vision, where we all want to live together, but we all can do our own thing. Mm-hmm. And then there's the disintegrationist vision, where we got to burn it all down and rebuild it from the ground up. Mm-hmm. But what are they going to rebuild it with? That's the thing. It's like
there is no rebuilding.
Like, because I talk to people and they're like, "Oh no, we just need the system that we have. We need to start it all over." And like, well, what are you going to replace it with? Like that's the question. You can't start demolishing something without having the plan first. Like, and nobody has a plan. They just want to burn it down.
And that's why I'm trying to say there's certain people just don't. The people at the top, certain people don't. A certain government group don't give a fuck about America, and if you think I'm lying, just go visit, go Google, go watch videos, go talk to people in these areas I'm about to say. Go to downtown LA and go around Skid Row. Go look at the 10 cities. Go look at Detroit. Go see what Detroit. Go look what the hoods of Detroit look like now. It's places in America right now that look like third world countries. It look worse than third world countries.
I was gonna say, did I tell you about that on the last podcast? I don't remember if I did. That you were talking about Detroit, how they were, what's it called? The local government there is being investigated for corruption and using
the mayor,
the mayor and the governor.
The mayor and the governor is being tried for letting the water and stuff get that bad, knowingly knowing
that and embezzling money, because I think Trump sent something like $5 million there, like 2017 or something like that. Sent something like $5 million to help fix the water system, and that no one knows where it went.
So, like I'm saying, let's just call it like it is. You got motherfuckers that decided for the now was more important than for the people in the future, and for the people. There's people that care about themselves more than they care about the people.
Well, so I think that it's, yeah, you have the people who want to tear it down and everything, but the people at the top don't care whether it's torn down or not. What they want is the power. And if they can get the power to manipulate and control you, they're fine with it. And it's weird to say that, because I've always like, whenever I used to hear people say that when I was young, I was like, oh, you're a fucking conspiracy theorist, bro. Like, no, I mean, politicians don't really do much, but they're trying to do a lot, and they're trying to do more and more and
this
more.
This shit is chess. This shit has always been chess. There's always been an aggressive. There's always been a offensive and defensive situation going on. There's always been an attacker and a defender. This has always been what's been going on this whole time, and there's been a fucking chess going on this whole time, and blurred battles, right? So I'm fighting you like this. I see who it is. I join your team, but then I get on your team and you fighting somebody else like this. It's a lot of bullshit going on. But that's why I'm trying to clear it a little bit and weed out the bullshit and just say, this is one side and this is the other side. This other side don't give a fuck about you or your family. And this other side, they care about their family and them, which would make them make decisions that are good not only for them and their family, but for you and your family. You know what I'm saying? So there's one side's like, nah, I just need a bigger house and more money. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not trying to say that, like, we all are gaining for, you know.
We're all trying to build ourselves up, but that's the beauty. What the beauty of America was for a long time
is you could do it.
Everyone building themselves up.
If you apply yourself, you educate yourself, and you have the I can do mentality, 9 times out of 10, there's nothing in this world that can stop you.
Yeah, and the thing about it is, like, they want to tear down capitalism. Like, capitalism has its flaws, yeah,
of course,
but capitalism has pulled more people out of abject poverty in the last 100 years than any other system of government has, or any other economic system has.
Right.
In the whole span of human history. Like, are you kidding me?
Because guess what?
Like, we're on track to eliminate world poverty. Like, we're on track to eliminate it by like 2027 or something like that.
That's close, nigga. That's my bad, but that's like what, 6 years from now, bro?
Like, no one's gonna be living in abject poverty. But here's the thing, though, is if you destroy a whole fucking economy with your bullshit fucking government welfare, that's not gonna happen. Like, we were on track, bud. Like, we were on track to fucking hit it.
Do you know that they say by 2050?
That's probably the wrong year. It's like 2020 something, but we're on track to hit it.
Right. So you were just talking about Booker T. Washington and stuff like that, right? And how he basically set out his whole life, his whole mission was to get his people to be educated and to be entrepreneurial type of individuals, right?
And you see, like, a lot of parallels between him and who was the one running, not running against him, but running a message like antithetical to him.
Du Bois.
Du Bois. Okay.
Yeah.
What was his full name? Do you know?
It's Webb Du Bois, or W.E.B.
Okay, there you go. W.E.B. Du Bois. All right. It's like, you can see the parallels from then to now. Like, the conservatives of today, even the black conservatives, you know, start your own company, build yourself up, become an entrepreneur, do better for yourself, pull yourself up, what Booker T. Washington was doing. And then Du Bois was the one marching and, you know, the protests and, we're what's it called? He was a devout socialist who became a devout communist who renounced his citizenship, and everything that he stood for disappeared for a long time. And you still have Booker T. Washington's institute that he set up for people, like, to learn and become entrepreneurs and become better for themselves.
So what basically happened was,
it was only recently that Du Bois' message started resurfacing again.
Getting back. So basically, what happened was, we didn't give a fuck about slavery. You go back to the 1800s and you won't hear a nigga cry about what happened to them recently, right?
Oh, and for people who don't know, I guess that's where the term "the Uncle Tom" started coming from.
Right.
Where they started using it as a derogatory term, at least, was against Booker T. Washington because they considered him a house,
right,
or the Uncle Tom because he was all about self betterment and becoming better on your own merits. Like that's where that came from.
Right. And after all of our ancestors being beat down and brought to a lower, brought low, right? Brought all low as you can go as a people in a country, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you climb back up to the top and you have your own communities, you have your own companies, you have your own education, you have everything, right? For yourself, for your people, for your family, right? That was after slavery, right?
Mm-hmm.
Probably 200 or 300 years. They started doing this in the 1800s. It's like 2 or 3 years after 200 or 300 years after slavery, right?
Mm-hmm.
So them being removed from slavery, where they can literally say, "My great grandparent was a slave." They could back then. They could literally say, "My great grandma was a slave," right?
Mm-hmm.
That's 2 generations before them. They could literally say that, right?
Mm-hmm.
They didn't give a fuck about slavery. 1,000 years later, we were slaves.
Not literally, wasn't. Not literally 1,000 years later.
No, but
someone will take you out of context.
Yeah.
Oh, he said 1,000 years later, like it happened long. No,
No.
I'm just saying he's being hyperbolic.
Right, but what I'm saying is, we were a people that, regardless of what was done, decided that, you know what, now is a different time, and we're gonna do what we gotta do for ourselves now, and forget about what happened then. We'll never let what happened then happen again. We're gonna go take something we gonna take what's being owed to us now, right? They were not crying about reparations. They went and got reparations. They went and made a way, right?
Mm-hmm.
That was, like I said, a couple years. That was 200 or 300 years removed from slavery.
Mm-hmm.
Which means it was more of a thought on their mind than it is for us now, right? We've been far removed from slavery, right?
Mm-hmm.
Video games, all that. We way out of that mindset, right? They were closer to that slave-like mentality.
Oh, I would say it's even closer because I think it was only 100 years removed from slavery back then.
Still Jim Crow still happened, so motherfuckers was still like, you know, it was still some low-key slave shit going on. You know what I'm saying? For sure, you could go and take a couple exits, you'll still see people still slaving. You know what I'm saying? So for them to still be in almost basically in that culture, it's close to them, right?
Mm-hmm.
Why was their mindset so much more progressive than our mindset now? Years later, 2 centuries later, right?
Mm-hmm.
That was in the 19th century, right? We're in the 21st century, right?
Mm-hmm.
No, that wasn't 19th century. That was in the 20th century, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was the beginning of the 20th century.
I don't know how they...
Or the end of the 19th century. Basically, we're either 2 or 1 centuries away from that, right?
Mm-hmm.
And now, the majority of us now are crying about some shit that even our ancestors closer to it didn't even cry about. Mm-hmm. So, what you see a period where it was a period of us being progressive and going to go get what we didn't have. Oh, they got that. We got this. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Now it's more of a friendly competition. You could call us whatever you want to, but you ain't going to be able to come over here and stop me. You can't come into my neighborhood and do nothing to me. Mm-hmm. You can't tell my son that he ain't worth nothing because he's educated. He know how to do this and that. You can't come do nothing to me because guess what? Regardless of how you feel about me, you have to respect me because I'm making you respect me. Mm-hmm. Right? How do we go from that to we've been slaves and... fuck Donald Trump. He's the worst. And it's just like, why is everybody so fucking, my people, right? Mm-hmm. Why are we so weak and like what happened, bro? Cause my great great grandma and her mom would look at us and great great granddad and his dad and look at us and be like, what are y'all doing? Mm-hmm. What are y'all doing? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's disgusting how what you really see is a period of hard work, progressive mentality. You know what I don't have is what I'll get tomorrow. Then it went up, and then got here, and then slowly started going down to now everybody's crying about what they don't got and not willing to put in the work and not having that same progressive mentality of the people that were closer to the slavery days than we are now.
Yeah. Well, that comes from the rebranding. So,
Right.
so they we said this on the podcast before.
Right.
They went from physical to mental slavery. Right.
Right.
They switched it, and it was a rebranding. And so what they started doing was tying that all the money they were going to give out to changing their culture, to changing black culture, because it used to be that common where a mother and father were both in the home for black children. It was common. That was just a normal thing to do. You know, you held the standards of the Puritan Christians, who you're supposed to have a wife and you're supposed to stick with her and stick by her, and through all the problems and through all the bullshit, you stick with them. But as what they started doing was they flipped it and said, "Oh well, we know you guys have a hard time, and you know it was a hard time through slavery and everything. So we're gonna start helping you." And they started recruiting people. I didn't even know this. They were recruiting people for welfare.
Knocking on doors,
and saying,
bro.
well, you get more money if the man's not in the home. If your man leaves you, don't worry. We're going to take care of you. You're going to marry the government, basically. And you get more money if the man's not in the home. And you just told me this. I didn't know this. They were giving out vouchers for
apartment complexes.
For apartment complexes.
Vouchers.
In L.A. and Baltimore and,
right.
and certain places.
Right.
For black families to move in there, because of slavery, and here, you know, here's this voucher, it's basically a free place to live. Oh, but the man can't be in the home.
Right. But the stipulation is all the kids, you know, you can even bring your cousin, your girl cousin. You can bring anybody you want, but just no man. Please, no men in the home, in the house.
And so you don't have men in the home to teach the boys how to be men. And it starts to devolve.
And so I can break it down, right? Because I'm a man who was raised by a woman. So what this does is you get to a certain point where your mom is your best friend as a child, right? And men naturally are going to be, you know, you're going to love your mom when you're a kid, but there's a certain point to where you need your dad, and then there's a certain point you know you need a man, right? You know you need somebody, an older male figure to come pull you and give you the game, because now he has to lead you through what's next, right? So around 15, 16, you know, whoa, who's going to teach me about these girls? Whoa, who's going to teach me what it means to be a man? Whoa, who's going to teach me how to catch this football? You know what I'm saying? Little things like that. And then certain, not all men, but certain men grow up and start to hate their mom. Because they feel like they feel away because their mom couldn't teach them what a man could, and they didn't get the proper education that they couldn't get from their mom and stuff like that.
And they don't even know that's the reason they hate their mom.
So now they're hating mom, which in tune, they're hating women, right? You know what I'm saying? So now we get the bitches and hoes, right? And then you see women, right? Now, at this point, now that women been raising their kids, right? Women, the moms, are making the men weaker, not because they want to, because now they see all the stuff that's going on. They see men is getting shot down the street, right? Media is pressing the certain, you know, the how it's scary to be a black man in America, right? So now you're purposely raising your men to be weak, and you keeping them close, but you're keeping them close, but now you've also lost respect for men. So now you're less likely to even deal with a man for real and go through anything with a man for real. And you're also raising your man weak. So now you're going to grow up the same type of man that you feel a way about. And it's just a cycle of...
So now you created these men who now hate women and become toxic and treat their women like trash. And these women who have gone through this, had children with these men, become bitter against these men.
Right.
And, oh, goddamn.
Oh, we're going for it.
Become bitter against the men, and then it becomes the cycle, like you said. And then they breed more boys who grow up into be toxic men.
Weak toxic men. Don't forget the weak.
Weak toxic men who mistreat their women, who breed men who are going to be toxic because they're not in their life, and over and over and over, and then you develop a culture of it, and then it becomes like a cool thing, right? Because now you have like J. Cole rapping about, you know, I didn't know what, you know, I did not understanding what it was to have a father and all this stuff, and so that becomes the common theme among rappers, among even athletes, right? It's a common theme among the culture.
And then on the women's side, even though we're men, so we really can speak from the man point of view, but on the women's side, so now your mom hated men. You peeped as a little girl that your mom hated men. You seen that your dad wasn't in your life. So now you're growing up as a young woman not respecting men.
Well, the other thing is if you don't have, as far as females are concerned, if you don't have a male role model in your life, a male role model to show you what a man should be and how to respect he respects other women, you're gonna crave male attention and you're gonna try to find it through obviously avenues where the out of wedlock births have gone up now, and like where I said they changed the culture. So like the having children out of marriage has gone from less than like 20% in the black community to now like 70% today. Like it's a high number, and the fathers aren't involved. And if you create that culture, you can keep a whole people down. Right. And generationally, and now it gets worse and worse, and then they don't know how to manage their finances, and they don't know how to do any of this, and you have to go out and search for yourself to better yourself, and not a lot of people want to do that.
And so now what you're missing is now, as men and women in this in the culture, you're missing structure. You're missing guidelines. You're missing both point of views. You're missing what it takes to really lock in and raise the children. That village that they say it takes a village to raise a children. Now you don't even have forget a village. You don't even have the house. You don't even have
one house.
You don't have anything. And so what we just broke down was 100 years to get a nigga to not know nothing. You know what I'm saying? We just broke down,
and that's how the prison systems are overloaded, because men will go to seek something similar to a family structure, and what's the next closest thing to family is gangs.
Implemented by who? People will go to these jails, right? Private prisons or state jails or state prisons or whatever, right? You'll go to these institutions, and then you'll come out, and I've heard this personally, right, from people I know, like some of my OGs, some people that's been gangbanging. I know I had conversations with, and they say that certain people will come out, and like the whole sagging thing started in prison, right? You'll come out, and just a group of these quote unquote real tough dudes will come out, and they'll be sagging, and they'll question like, what's this thing, right? So now you gonna feel as though the people that came out of prison is tougher, so people like low key, you start to go that route, right? Well, then you start getting all the generation people sagging, and then you start, and then people are getting picked up, and then coming out and throwing up different gang signs, right? They don't know what these meanings are, but they're getting them from people, getting them from something, and then you get the, even the Hispanics, which basically, they came out and,
well, the gang started as protection groups,
but it wasn't that. That's what I'm saying. Yeah,
they started as protection groups, and once you get like money involved, because at first it was just supposed to you protect your community because the police weren't going to back in the day, and then you started to get money and drugs involved, and then you go from the gangs protecting their people to extorting their people, and now now you're gonna pay for us to protect you because it'd be a shame if something happened to you, and if something happens to you and you're not paying us, we're not gonna have your back.
And so now this is when you ask the question, who brought the drugs? Who brought the extortion tactics, right? Because a zoo shooter wasn't going to extort the old lady down the block. That's just not what the fuck was going to happen, right? You were there to do what? Protect the old lady down the block, protect the kids, right? You weren't there to extort, right? So who taught the extortion? Who taught the extortion tactics? Who brought the drugs in? Right? What was the war on drugs? What's really going on? Yeah. Who really implemented these gang signs? Who really implemented the lifestyle? Who is still running the music? Who is still pushing these agendas? These agendas, what I said the last podcast, these agendas are being funded. What are the prison systems? These are vested interests. These are invested. These are people that are invested into the millions of dollars being pushed through the private prisons and the state jails and stuff like that, right? Somebody there. What I'm basically trying to say is there's money in all of this shit. Somebody's capitalizing off of all of this shit. So when you got niggas coming outside talking about, yeah, nigga, I'm from some, yeah, this is what it is. This is where I'm from, and you sit there and you be like, you sit there and you look and you be like, but who are you? This is where you're from, but who are you? Where did you get this from? I got my daddy. Where'd your dad get this from? His dad. Where his dad get that from?
Well, see,
question mark.
But a lot of people don't think through that. A lot of people won't go that deep.
Right.
They won't sit there in self-reflection and try to go deep into why do I do what I do. It's just what we do. It's just what we do, and you'll hear a lot of that.
Right.
It's just this is what we do.
I've said it a million times. We can have a it is what it is. We could just sit down and see how many times I said it is what it is. Mm-hmm. But that's what people will say.
Make a bunch of cuts.
It is what it is. One. It is what it is. Two. But that's what people say. It is what it is.
But that whole culture shift, and that's what I'm saying. Like now, so it went from everyone, black people especially, building themselves up, creating businesses, doing better for themselves, and then you had the shift of, well, we're rebranding now. We're not going to physically intimidate. We're going to offer them something. We're going to offer them something and give them something. In return, they have to get the man out of their house, and now you're stuck. And then going from that all the way around now to the culture, right? The music, that you talk about, people like often decry the violence, but you glorify the violence in the music, in the mainstream music, and I mean, and it's I don't even know how to deconstruct it, but it's crazy to think, like, you listen to it, and if you listen to it mindlessly, you're not kind of delving into what they're talking about, but like you're glorifying killing your own people.
And this is when you know it's a joke, right? Because I understand you only rap about what you've been through. So if I just only been cheating on women my whole life, I'm going to talk about how I'm a player, right? Mm-hmm. Or if I've been pimping, I'm going to talk about how I've been pimping, right? But this is when you start to realize it's a game. Why are people that we know never been through these things being paid millions of dollars to tell you that they've been through these things?
Mm-hmm. Well, that was one of the things in the Uncle Tom thing, film. This gentleman was like, he was like, I fell into the narrative. He goes, the white people are keeping me back. He goes, but then I started to think, well, if they're keeping me back, why aren't they keeping, Al Sharpton and his family down? They're going to private. His kids are going to private schools. Mm-hmm. Why aren't they keeping Jesse Jackson and his family down? Well, their kids are going to private schools and doing well. Mm-hmm. Oh, it's a lie.
It's all bullshit.
And they're selling lies, and they're being paid by the Democratic Party. What is it? Every Democratic candidate has to pay a thing of homage and go through Harlem and speak with Al Sharpton, and have a big old public sit down with him as a rite of passage to get the black vote. Like,
you got Spike Lee and fat black bitches hitting Dougies in the middle of the fucking street.
And he's like, I forgot who in the movie said it, but he was saying, well, how much money are you willing to pay me for me to sway these people's vote? And Al Sharpton gets a gang. That man is rich, dude. He gets a gang of money. And how much money are you willing to pay me for me to tell them to vote for you?
And then, like we just said, it's trickled down to the media, trickled down to entertainment. I'm going to go on a limb and say this. Fuck it. I think it's true. I think it's 100% true. I don't know not one celebrity that said, how about let's just look at both parties and see what they offer.
Yeah. Well, especially now today, because now they're trying to cut conservatives out of the conversation.
Oh, I'm going to say Ice Cube. Ice Cube was the one, and he got fucking... He got dehumanized for it.
Lil Wayne did it too, though. But they tore him up for it too.
Yeah, he's going to jail. Fuck it.
I was watching his fucking interviews, bro. Oh my god! Have you seen those interviews when they asked him about Black Lives Matter?
Yeah, well,
he's like, I don't feel tied to nothing that ain't got shit to do with me. I was like, god damn.
Now, see, when he first said that, it was years ago, and I was like, what is he talking about? That was like 2017, right? What was he talking about? He doesn't know what it feels like to be black, right? I felt the weight, but Lil Wayne's stupid, right? Okay, I can say that. Like, he's not super educated, but what he said was so powerful. Mm-hmm. What he said was, it has nothing to do with me. Mm-hmm. Think about that. I didn't think about it. And then, so I just said Lil Wayne's stupid, right? Mm-hmm. Then that's when I started, like, this motherfucker might know more than what I think he knows. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like, well, he has been around rich people for a long time, and he has been around these these company owners and stuff like that.
And it was crazy. He was like, you don't feel like America cares about what black people want? Mm-hmm. And when his answer to that was, when he's like, he goes, I am a rich black motherfucker in America. You don't think they care about what I want? Like, I was like, damn.
And I felt the way, but that shit's powerful. Or how about when Kanye goes on the, I forgot what show it was, to perform, and he says, my MAGA hat is my superhero cape. niggas didn't understand what he was trying to say. But he was basically trying to, you know, and Kanye's all over the place. He's all over the place.
Oh, yeah.
But what he was saying was, they trying to tell me what I can and cannot be and what I can and cannot do.
Mental slavery.
He said, this is my cape.
That's the key to the chains, bro. That's the key to the mental chains. That's what that is.
So we heard Kanye say something. We heard Lil Wayne say something. Right? We've heard B.O.B. get out there and say stuff.
I didn't hear about that.
Yeah, but nah, he had been doing it for a minute, and why you don't hear B.O.B. songs no more? B.O.B. was big, bro.
He was big for a while.
He was big.
I had him in my iPod.
He had songs with Bruno Mars, bro. He was up there.
My old iPod Mini.
Right. Don't hear B.O.B. at all. Right. Nosedive. Right. You hear certain people do it, and don't know about it. I think even 50 Cent came out and said some stuff, but then 50 Cent to me plays the fence. Yeah. One minute he's we don't care about black people, and then the next minute he's like, you know, what's really, you know, he gives you some truth. What I've realized about celebrities is hard to tell who knows
who's playing a character.
What is it?
Yeah. Who's playing the character and who's
right.
Who really believes in something.
Right. But you don't know.
Yeah. But the thing about in Hollywood is if you believe in something or if you believe in any kind of conservative value, you're not going to get work. You're not going to get a job.
Bro, there's nothing in this world that there's no way in hell I believe that Matthew McConaughey is not a Republican.
Yeah, that man's from Texas, bro. He's in Austin.
He's he went to this motherfucker's a Republican, right?
But he's already built his legacy, though. That's the thing. He's built his he's solid. He's already in there now.
But have you ever heard him say that?
Chris,
who?
The dude who played in Guardians of the Galaxy, the main character, Chris Pratt. I think yeah. He's conservative.
Kyle Pratt. Oh, no. Yeah, Chris Pratt.
He's conservative.
Is he loud about it?
He always like thank God and everything, and like he's real and people like get mad at him for it, and they try to cancel him because there was this Avengers thing that they were trying to do for the Democrats, and he didn't show up, and so
bye.
And so everyone was all fucking mad at him, but I think Robert Downey Jr. came out and he was like, no, he's a good person, like. You don't like leave him alone. Like, no, he's a good person. He has his own opinion. So
try to dehumanize Robert for being a drug addict. So he already know what it is.
Yeah, you can't be a conservative or be friends with anyone who's conservative because they'll demonize you too. Like, whoo boy.
So now we in this world where who's on your side? Who's on the American people's side? And how can we catch what they're throwing? Like, how are we able to sense, oh, this motherfucker really on our side, but he playing the fence, or he's just doing this because it's the cool thing to go at this time, but then when it's time to get back in line, he gonna get right back in line. So it's a lot of bullshit in the game, bro, and this is why now I'm plugging myself. That's
right, bro. That's right. We gotta push back in the culture, bro. We gotta push back inside the culture because there's so many people who are afraid to speak,
right?
Like, and because conservative values are like the values of minorities, like family, hard work. Like I grew up my entire life, my parents telling me, work hard. You want something, work for it. It ain't gonna be shit given to you.
Bro.
You get up and work for it.
When somebody, you know how they say like how to be a millionaire for dummies or how to start a business for dummies. When they give you what a conservative is for dummies, when you finally just sit down and listen and hear somebody be like, we are the people that work for what we get.
Yeah, and we don't want your shit. We want to make our own shit.
That's it.
We want to build our own legacy for our children and give it to our children. But you do what you do, and we don't want to take your stuff. You build your own stuff. And maybe we could build together. That'd be cool. But we don't want yours.
Right.
We don't want anything that we haven't worked for. It's an honor thing. And that's a prideful thing. That's a real big thing in the Hispanic community. My parents hated the idea of welfare. And my mom, they went in for welfare like once, maybe twice. And my mom felt like, I felt like disappointed with myself. And mind you, like this was at a point where we were like destitute, like no running water, no electricity, no like.
They were still like, nah, fuck that. We're gonna work for it.
Yeah, and the only reason they did it is because they had to feed us. You got to feed your children.
Shit, I was watching the Selena thing, and that's how he felt. He had lost his company. He had a company, right? That's Selena's dad. I seen that he had went into the office to go get food stamps for the business, and so everybody could eat. And he would he holding his head down and shit. Like
that's the thing. Like you're like, oh fuck. Like we're not looking for handouts, but
so Mexicans are what? If you think about
Mexicans are conservatives. We're conservative like to the core.
And then not now, but I'll say 20, 30 years ago, 40 years ago, before the drugs and everything like that. What were black people?
But what the Democrats did to the black community, they're trying to do to the Hispanic community now. That whole tying of welfare.
Y'all strong as fuck.
All the people coming in from Mexico and all them. Oh, we're gonna take care of you. We're gonna give you something.
Yeah.
We're gonna give you something, and they're gonna tie it to whatever conditions that they want. And
but y'all don't want y'all some hard working ass motherfuckers.
Yeah, like so a lot of us don't want it. Right. But you're having this new generation of Hispanics.
They get your babies.
Yeah, it's a new generation of Hispanics now.
Right.
And the values of them aren't the same ones that my parents were raised with. Like the values of my generation, we barely held on to the values. Like so, and I'm putting it into my kids. Like you want something, work hard for it.
Mm-hmm.
Like all like my kids, whatever they decide to do, I'll help to nurture it. And they're young. Like I'll nurture it. Like go for it. I'll get them things to pursue what they're trying to do. Like, but I teach them the same thing that my parents taught. Nothing's going to be given to you. Don't ask for no fucking handouts. You're not weak. You know, be strong. Build your own. Get it. Go out there and get it.
And so to sum this all up is the Republican way is the American way.
I say the conservative way because there are so many corrupt Republicans.
Right.
No, because here's the thing: is I don't even take up for the Republican Party, like because these motherfuckers play the fucking two sides, bro.
Yeah.
Like they're just doing what they're doing to benefit their political career, and as soon as it stops being beneficial to their political career, they'll start to lean left or forsake whatever value that conservatives hold in order to benefit their political career. Oh my God, that fucking irks me, and so.
But the only reason why I say Republican is because the Republican is the honest first. It was the first. It was the Republican way was the first way. Mm-hmm. So I understand why you feel conservative now, but like if you were to go in 1930 and say Republican, that meant what we're talking about now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But the conservative way is the American way.
Yeah.
But
we're trying to conserve the American way. We're trying to save the American way.
We're trying to conserve the American way. But they've been destroying the American way for a long time now. Federal Reserve is private, and it's not American. Mm-hmm. We had our own products. We made our own pencils. We made our own paper. We made our own everything. We mined and we did everything. That created a lot of jobs for a lot of people. Mm-hmm. But once they gave those responsibilities to China, and so now China's a vendor for everything. Right, I don't even care if it's something as small as given, you know, like all of these little like Wish and all of these things. Everybody getting this stuff from China. I don't even care if it's counterfeit warehouse companies. I want those counterfeit warehouse companies in America. Mm-hmm. I want a warehouse where somebody to be paying money to be giving out fake Jordans like they do in China in America. I want all of that in America, and I understand it was for cheaper reasons, but once they decided that we're gonna give all of that to them, and we stopped doing the bulk of our own manufacturing and everything like that, and like we gave up what we had backed in money, because right, UK never gave up their dollar. The pound never gave up being backed by gold. You know that, right? The pound is still backed by gold, and that's why the pound is higher than the dollar. That's why the pound is worth more than the American dollar. The pound never gave up what they were being backed by. What is that? Abu Dhabi. They never. They're. I think it's Abu Dhabi. They still backed by how rich their oil is and stuff like that, right? We gave up everything that we had, that we stood for, and what we had. And
we flipped our monetary system.
I don't think we gave it up. I don't say we. Your people didn't give it up. My people didn't give it up. Your great grandparents didn't give it up. My great grandparents didn't give it up. We gave it to somebody to make the decision for us to give it up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So they've been working on taking the American way from Americans and making it somebody else's way for a long time. But like you said, and like I just said, the conservative way is the American way, whether you know it now or whether you figure that out when it's too late or when you're older. The conservative way is the American way.
All right. I think we can end on that because we are way past our time. I believe we're like 50 minutes in. Thank you for joining us.
Right.
And smash that like button.
Oh, there we go.
Subscribe.
Hey, go for real though. Go follow. First off, thank y'all. Thank y'all for supporting us. The small community that's supporting us. Thank y'all. I know you work, I work, you guys work, and I know, especially if you on the conservative vibe, that you're providing a living for your family. So thank y'all for taking the time out your day, and even if you're giving us 20 minutes, 30 minutes, 10 minutes, a like, a repost, whatever. Thank you so much for that.
Yeah, thank you.
That means
honestly.
a lot. That means
Honestly.
a lot. We
For real.
appreciate it for our Mexican peoples, our black peoples, our Republican peoples, the Democratic people that still give us a listen and see what we on. Thank y'all, man. For real.
Appreciate it. Yeah. All right, man. We out. Episode number 9, which should be 15. But
Right.
deuces.
Deuces.